Hey, what up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. It's your boy Kenny bringing you another spoiler filled review. Today, we're getting into the latest A24 flick coming from one of my favorite filmmakers, Ty West, simply titled X. You know what I'm saying? No X-Men, no DX. Generation X. None of that's going on right here, man. We're strictly getting into this review, man. And before we go any further, drop a like, smash that subscribe button, get into the comments section and let us know what you thought about the film, man. We want to get into a discussion with y'all and help grow the show as well. Share it with your friends, family, co-workers, everybody you can, any fellow nerd you know, share it with them, yo. That's what Fandom Frequency is all about. So, without further ado, let's get into the review, man, and getting into some of the plot details here. You got a group of people from Texas wanting to get together and make a independently made horror film. That's what this is. No, they're making a porno flick, and they're doing it all themselves, but they want to make a more classy porno flick, sorry. And they want to make a classy porno flick and make it rise above everything else. And the main guy who's in this thing, played by Martin Henderson, the Matthew McConaughey type character in this thing, he just wants to make money and get rich and get famous, and he's the one financing this thing and pulling it all together. You know what I'm saying? And he got his two main girls in the film, one played by one of my favorite new actresses bursting onto the scene lately, Jenna Ortega of Scream 5 fame, and a newer actress for me, and I had never seen her work before, I don't think, Mia Goth playing Maxine. And Mia Goth's character is kind of the main final girl, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Kind of our main protagonist. And she's like Mark Wahlberg from Boogie Nights, but a female version of that, you know, snorting lines, trying to be a fucking star and all that, trying to get famous and whatnot, and she's trying to get out there and do her thing. She's strictly trying to find a better life, and that all comes around back later, man. But like I was mentioning before, you got Jenna Ortega playing, the innocent boom mic operator. She's doing the sound, you know what I'm saying? And her boyfriend in the film, anyways, played by an actor named Owen Campbell. Not familiar with his work as much, but he was playing the filmmaker character RJ, who's filming everything and putting it all together. And then the male talent of their porno flick, played by Scott Mescudi, one of my favorite musical artists of all time, Kid Cudi himself, popping up in this thing, playing the main male talent, you know what I'm saying? And he's a Vietnam vet, and he's just a smooth, cool, calm, and collected brother, just in there to do his thing and make a little cheddar cheese while he's doing it. And he has experience doing it before, apparently. And then you got, and you got Brittany Snow, who's one of the other main female talents of this thing, man, from Pitch Perfect fame. And I am not necessarily a huge fan of her previous work. I don't think I've seen her in too many things, but I loved her in this film right here, man. She was really one of the standout actresses, performers, whatever. One of the most standout characters of the film, man. I really dug her overall. And when you're getting into just the film overall as a whole, man, I thoroughly enjoyed this damn thing. Like, Ty West definitely delivered on my personal expectations. This film kicks ass, man. It's got some really good, pretty brutal kills up in there, man. There's certain points in the film when I was watching it earlier, and I was like, oh, shit. Like, oh, man, make it stop. Stop it. Like, man, like, they weren't pulling any punches when the violence comes through in this thing, man. It ain't gratuitous. It's a lot more, it's a little more classy than your typical slasher flick, you know what I'm saying? But they still deliver on that slasher element. They ain't getting too, artsy for artsy fartsy sake, you know what I'm saying? Like, the artistic elements of this all play a part, and pumps up the violent parts of the movie so that it makes it contrast better, you know what I'm saying? But doesn't take away from the initial impact and just that classic slasher feel is definitely all through this thing, man. Like Ty West definitely delivered some really good stuff here, man. And the performances all around were great, man. Jenna Ortega coming through and killing it as always. Martin Henderson is an OG, you know what I'm saying? He's been around since The Ring and all these other things. He was recently in Strangers Pray at Night. You know, he's been in the horror genre before, and he definitely came through and did a nice little, Matthew McConaughey-esque type character without doing a complete without doing a impression of him. He came close and really hit him like tonally too, like just in his voice. He really nailed that southern accent, but had that Matthew McConaughey type timbre to his voice. So I really dug his performance overall. And when it comes to Kid Cudi, he did his thing as well. I really liked him in this film. And Mia Goth was also very good as well, man. I thought everyone was great. But to me, Jenna Ortega and Brittany Snow and Martin Henderson, those were really like the most standout actors in my mind in this thing. And the actors playing the old people as well, they were really freaking good, man. Very effective at being creepy, but you kind of feel sorry for them at the same time, because the old lady just wants to get it on, man. You know what I'm saying? And, since this is a spoiler review, I'm going to get into some of the killer reveal with the old lady being the killer and the old man, trying to get rid of everyone else and just keep Mia Goth's character Maxine for the wife so she can get busy and the husband doesn't have to have a heart attack because he has heart problems, so we can't really get it on. You know what I'm saying? So all that's going on, and it's really interesting to see the very uncomfortable but interesting sexual stuff that they're bringing up in the movie going along with the porno stuff, which they do focus on in the first portion of the movie, but it's not too gratuitous for people that don't like a lot of sex and nudity in their movies, you know what I'm saying? It ain't too much, but I think it's just enough to get the point across, you know what I'm saying? And you get plenty of TNA, so don't worry, y'all out there. You get it, you know what I'm saying? So that's another classic slasher element thrown in this thing. But yeah, man, the old lady and the old man are killing folks, and gators are eating people, you know what I'm saying? People are getting stabbed with pitchforks in the eyes. Man, like, we ain't fucking playing, bro. Like, she stabbed the cameraman, RJ, like, 15 times, man. It's like Rob Zombie's fucking Halloween 2 intro in the hospital, but with an old lady. Shit's getting crazy, bruh. But I gotta tell you, man, I had such a blast with this movie. I think this is the most perfectly paced anything filmmaking wise Ty West has ever done. Because I do enjoy a good portion of his work that I've seen so far. But for example, The Innkeepers, man, that shit dragged. I didn't even finish it, man. Like I'm gonna go back and revisit it and give it a fair shot, but that thing really bored me, man. And House of the Devil, which is a movie I recently purchased actually, and I really do enjoy. That first 30 minutes is a little slow getting things going, you know what I'm saying? I understand he's character building and letting things take its time. I don't mind it, but it is a little slow getting started. But once it really kicks in after the first like half hour, it's great from that point on, and you never are disinterested in the film. And his shorts that he did in VHS were great. Obviously, they're short films, so there's not as much of a pacing problem there. But this film right here, he perfectly paced it for me, at least. And I think some people out there that are a little impatient as moviegoers or as, film fans, maybe it'll be a little slow for you, but I think it took the perfect amount of time to build up the characters, get into the whole filmmaking part of it all, and set up the scares and set up the kind of motivations of the killers as well, and they let you get to know their situation on both sides of the fence, so that way you know where everybody's coming from and what the characters are about and kind of who they are as people through their performances and through their actions and their dialogue. It's through what they're doing. They're not necessarily doing a whole bunch of exposition to tell you a whole bunch of backstory. You only get it sprinkled in a little bit here and there, but it's mostly showing, not telling, which is definitely filmmaking 101, as I learned in my art school days, and as all you film nerds know out there, man. So Ty West really came through and crafted a really dope movie overall, man. I thoroughly enjoyed this thing, man. It's definitely going to be high up there for my top 10 movies of the year. I think it's going to make the list, man. It's definitely going to be, possibly, might be my favorite horror flick of the year. That and Scream 5 are going to be fighting, but we got some other stuff coming, man. Halloween Ends, obviously. The Black Phone from Scott Derrickson. There's other stuff to come, but I thoroughly enjoy this film, man. If I got to give it a score, I'm going to go with a very strong 8.75 out of 10. Very well done movie overall. Excellent slasher flick. And for all my horror fans out there, you know what I'm saying? All my horror nerds out there in the world, this is definitely made for you. And if you dig horror, you're definitely going to love this, I feel. If you're more casual, I still think it's going to have enough of that oomph, enough of the scares and this thriller and the thrills and suspense that's going to get you in there, but not scare you too much, but also keep you entertained throughout the flick, man. I think this is such a well-done movie. I really recommend all of you out there, anyone that checks out this episode, please go check this movie out, man. Give it your support and check it out in theaters, man. We got to support these independent films out here. I love my Marvel, DC, Star Wars, but we got to have that variety. And why not support a dope movie, man? So get out there and go see it when you can, as soon as possible. ASAP, baby. Go support this thing and let me know what you thought about it down there in the comments section, y'all. For those of you watching on YouTube, I want to get into a discussion with y'all. And for all of you on the podcast feed, much love to you for listening. Keep clicking that download button. Share it with your friends, family, coworkers once again. And hit us up on the social medias or hop on over to YouTube and get in the comments and let us know what you thought about it and engage with us over there, man. But until next time, guys, stay tuned and don't sleep.